Today it is the AFC North, and Mark Sessler is kicking us off. He's got an article up at NFL.com, and you guys should be checking that out. And it's an article about that division, so we're going to start with them. M-Rob, in the AFC North, what team made the biggest offseason addition?
Good question, Kay. I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. I thought they did a great job improving their pass defense, who wasn't that great last year. You look at, they brought in Trey Hendrickson, right? A high motor guy from the New Orleans Saints last year, 13 and a half sacks. Only guy in the National Football League to sack Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Twice, 2 times each. So the guy understands how to get after the quarterback. And his motor, to me, that motor that he has can be infectious, and he can spread that energy all across the defensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals. And then on the back end, cornerback Mike Hilton, right? Nickelback, came from the Pittsburgh Steelers. The guy affects the game in every facet. He can cover, right? He has great coverage skills. He's great in space, right? And he plays the run well to be a smaller guy at the cornerback position. And I think he's the only guy in the National Football League, or 1 or 2 players with 3+ sacks and 3+ interceptions in 2020. So the guy is all over the football field. So when you look at the offseason additions from the Cincinnati Bengals, they went straight to a need, which was on the defensive side of the football, to improve their pass defense, and they did a great job in offseason.
Are in the lab working on that mock draft. Pick a team from this division and tell me what their draft priority needs to be.
I think the Cincinnati Bengals at 5 are so fascinating because the way the draft is going to play out, you're going to get a quarterback at 1, a quarterback at 2, a quarterback at 3. Atlanta's at 4. Atlanta could go with Pitts or Chase, or they could trade out, or they could take a quarterback. So let's say, for argument's sake, the first 4 picks are quarterbacks. Cincinnati's sitting at 5, and they could get Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell, Rashawn Slater, Micah Parsons. I think the perfect fit would be giving Joe Burrow his security blanket from his breakout season, Jamar Chase. And what do I mean by that? These guys were together at LSU, and they were outstanding. Jamar Chase, that LSU season, and I believe we might have a graphic to show you just how dynamic their year together was. This is in 1 year in 2019. 84 catches, 1,780 receiving yards, and 20 touchdowns. And every one of those catches came from Joe Burrow throwing him the ball. If you could put those 2 guys together, and the amazing thing about that team, Justin Jefferson was the number 2 guy on that team. It was all about Jamar Chase as the number 1. If I'm the Bengals, you lost A.J. Green. You didn't really make an effort to re-sign him. You lost John Ross. You didn't really make an effort to re-sign him. You got T. Higgins, who you like. Now you put T. Higgins and Jamar Chase out there for Joe Burrow. I love this fit. I think that would be a great draft selection. But truly, Cincinnati cannot go wrong at number 5 right now. Just let the things play out. And there are so many supreme talents at positions other than quarterback that could be sitting there at 5 that they are going to hit a home run. And I've already given them a draft grade of an A in the first round based on whether it's Chase, Pitts, Sewell, Slater, whoever. Bengals, feeling good.
Peter,
that's a good point.
Man, I couldn't have laid it out better, man. You're absolutely correct. I'm fascinated at the number 5 pick as well. And if you really think about it, right, you take the quarterbacks out of this draft and the importance of that position. I'm not so sure if you don't see a bunch of tackles, pass rushers, receivers, and a lot of other guys going at the top of the draft. But when I look at the Cincinnati Bengals, to me, everything revolves around Joe Burrow. And if I was in the brass making the pick for the Cincinnati Bengals, I'd go with one of these bookend tackles, man. I mean, you have to protect Joe Burrow. He's the guy that can, go empty and get the ball distributed to all of those playmakers. I love receivers, but I feel like you can find those guys. This is a very deep receiver draft. You can find those guys later on in the draft. But to your point, Peter, I don't know if Cincinnati can go wrong with anywhere they go with the number 5 pick overall.